In the early 20th century, when comics were first being published, a similar struggle was taking place. The superhero genre was inventing itself at that point, instead of reinventing itself, but still walking the tightrope between market obligations and artistic forces. Today, the Marvel movie publishing house is releasing several different franchises all at the same time, united under one continuity, using the same characters that were first created over 60 years ago. Not so quietly, Marvel Studios has been reinventing movies and television. Yet somehow, superhero skeptics are still out there to combat the hate. Here are 5 myths about MCU movies that are totally untrue. Number 5. Just for kids. There are still far too many self-respecting adults out there who are walling themselves off from the movement, translating comic books from single issue to silver screen. Superhero movies are a genre that are fascinating precisely because they can simultaneously appeal to both kids and adults. Children can look to superheroes as role models. Adults finally have the perspective to look behind the curtain of that dream world and look back on their childhood, then forward into the institutions created to support the dreams of that little kid. Adults creating what they think kids should be dreaming about is a powerful force. If that's not enough, comic book heroes stand at one of the busiest intersections of culture, art, literature, ethics, the media, the economy, gender, race, politics, and religion all twisted together in one of the most American inventions, the superhero. Number 4. Mostly bad acting. If an approach to acting can be reduced to acting naturally in unnatural circumstances, and the more natural the circumstances, the more difficulty one would have acting naturally. Audiences have all seen the liberal amount of imagination supplanting the reality of these movies, so it must be hard for one to know how to act. That being said, while not all performances are spot on, the MCU movies have done a stunning job casting these larger-than-life heroes with actors that meet the demands of the role. The grandiosity of most heroes makes them very difficult to play. By most renditions, these characters are too nearly perfect to be believable. In spite of this, actors like Hugh Jackman, Wesley Snipes, and then Robert Downey Jr. succeeded in taking the weight out of the roles, making the heroes lighter and more relatable. Number 3. Marvel finally have all their characters back. The Hulk is one character who, although currently appearing on screen, doesn't reside 100 within MCU control. Spider-Man and his universe are in a similar boat. Other characters who fall into that category include She-Hulk, Namor, and Rhombus Knight. Aside from those outliers, the MCU has a lot of catching up to, incorporating the new characters it's picked up from Fox, most notably the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. The suspense now comes from how those new characters will be incorporated, and how Marvel chooses to expand their production strategy in many real ways. Marvel is expanding into this space as a trailblazer, throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks may be the best strategy they have right now. And for fans, that just increases the level of excitement and unpredictability. Number 2. There will never be a Hulk movie due to a rights dispute with Universal Studios. A movie named after the Incredible Hulk can't debut under the MCU banner. This has led to the recent confinement of the big green guy to psychic status. Mark Ruffalo's performance in this role has led some people to argue that the Hulk is better as a support character. How a hero as large as the Hulk could be suitable in small doses sounds absurd. Modern-day Frankenstein's monster, fueled by rage and isolation, yet driven to connect through good deeds to a world that misunderstands him. The Hulk's split personality has always made him a tricky burden for writers, but Lufrigno made audiences fall in love with the character as a main lead once before. If an emotional story existed, the Hulk movie could be an action thriller of Pacific Rim proportions. Number 1. A list heroes only. One thing that can definitely be said about the MCU is they stumbled onto a formula and pressed it. Previously, In the forced phases, the tendency to focus was another factor of minimizing risk. This list praised Downey, Evans, and Hemsworth for their larger-than-life performances, but it helped that those are the most open-ended heroes on the Marvel roster. It helped in the early days to have a blank canvas. In the past 3 years, Marvel's NetEye Studios has carved an island out for itself with its showcase of the Defenders, Solid B characters, and now on Hulu and Freeform, The Runaways and even Cloak and Dagger are starting really ambitious projects, and they're still committed to remaining in continuity. The square-jawed, monolithic heroes may have provided the frame, but the Mu is building its house of D is full of even the rockiest fan favorites.